management is handed down, but leadership is earned up. What it means that if you want to become a manager, somebody has to promote, give you that, the hand down a letter to you. But having said that, every manager is not a leader. Any idiot can become a manager. We do apologies to managers who's listening to this. But to be a leader, the team at whom you lead have to accept you as a leadership, isn't it? So leadership is more of a trait. You need to learn how to be a leader.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Networking and Beyond. Today we have with us one of our top BNI trainers, Mr. Amruth, as our next guest. Now, Amruth has been the one-to-one trainer in BNI Bangalore and also has been a corporate trainer who's worked with several top brands in the last 2 decades. Now, if you've ever attended his program, you will know how good he is at his training program. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's welcome our very next guest. Amruth sir, welcome to Networking and Beyond. How does it feel to be on this show, sir?
Awesome, I'd say. It's a great opportunity.
So have you watched any of our episodes before?
Yes, of course. I watched quite a few of them, and I think I loved Ram Samtani, the two Rams, Ram Sheshu, Ram Samtani, and of course, these were two which I watched quite closely, and
Yeah, and both of them are extremely dynamic and they had so much knowledge to give away. And I'm pretty sure this show is going to be as good or even possibly better because you also come from the same line of BNI, training and all the things to follow, sir.
In fact, I'm feeling a little nervous now because after Ram Samtani and Ram Sheshu, I don't know if Amruth can live up to that. Anyway, let's see. I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yes, sir. So, we know you as a trainer. We know you as a very established trainer, but not many people who watch this show might know you as to where you started out from. So what was your starting? Can you give us a little bit about your background? Where did it all start from?
Okay, so I come from a South Indian Brahmin family. We were 5 boys and my youngest sister was there. So mom was a teacher, dad was in sales, and somehow or the other, I became a sales trainer. I kind of got both my mother and father's, passions in it, I would say. So, in fact, I did my graduation in something you'd be surprised about. You want to know what it was? It is chemistry, botany, and zoology. So you might be wondering, what is this life sciences guy getting into training and all that? Yeah. But it all happened was, I finished my graduation back in 1984. That was the dinosaur age, according to you, I think. And I was looking forward to getting into my post-graduation. Things didn't work out because our results came a little, much later. And by the time I was wanting to get into it, it didn't happen. Okay. So I was just wondering, what do I do? Dad was traveling and he came back one day to Bangalore. He said, okay, what are you wasting your time for? I said, okay, I don't know. I said, I'm just kind of waiting for next year to happen. He said, find yourself a job. Leafing through the newspapers and I saw an advertisement by Eureka Forbes. I thought, let me just walk in and see what happens. So walked in, I got a job. Before I knew it, I was a salesman Eureka Forbes.
Okay.
I thought I'd just be there for just about 3 to 6 months, but I ended up staying 5 years in Eureka Forbes.
I have a question. Here, when you made the change, I'm pretty sure, you would have been okay with it, but did your parents, did your peers around you accept you moving from, CBZ and to something onto like this?
In fact, I'll tell you, I don't know what the others thought, but my mother said, if you're happy doing what you're doing, and I think you're earning a living which is being honest, go ahead and do it. Okay. She should also be worried about how many people are going to slam their doors at you. And funny thing she would do is anybody would try to come selling anything towards our door. She would think of me and she would buy anything people would buy. I said, Mom, why are you buying all these things, useless stuff? She said, no, I don't like slamming doors at other people because somebody could slam the door at you.
I think as a leadership code that you would point out as a great example of empathy.
Absolutely, yes. So maybe empathy I learned from mom. Yeah, yes.
True. Yeah. And I think parents are where we get our foundation principles from.
Yes.
And moving on, training is a knowledge-giving process.
Correct.
And I've been into that field for quite some time, not as much as you have. But one thing that I understand is if you have to train, you got to get trained as well.
Yes.
Right? That's the background. What is your background, sir? What are some of the courses you did, or you can say certifications that helped you climb this ladder in training?
Okay. So, honestly, I'm not too much into certifications myself. That may strictly be only my view. But the way I got introduced to training is this. While I was in my second job, one day our CEO from Mumbai came to Bangalore, and the MD, the branch manager said that the CEO wants to speak to you. So I was worried. I thought I'm going to get fired. Then I walked into a cabin and the CEO said, Amruth, we are selecting a few people from every branch across India, and you're one person who's been selected to undergo training on how to become a trainer. I said, so would you like to get started? I said, okay. I didn't know anything about training. I said, fine. Whatever. I said. He said, okay, let me tell you some details. This training is going to be for about a week, and it's going to be a nice 5-star, 4-star resort in Goa. I said, say no more. I'm interested. So honestly, I went there because I thought I can spend some time in Goa, But, the training which was done there by a UK-based company, it was amazing, fantastic. So I'd say today, a large portion of who I am as a trainer started because that one training. It was a rigorous 1-week training. They told us a lot of nitty-gritties. So many of the things that I learned to be a trainer, I'd say, stems from that foundational training. Correct. And over the years, I learned a lot from a lot of trainers, of course. So that was my foundation.
Sir, and I think that's a very important golden nugget for the ones who are watching. Because a lot of times many opportunities come in our way of life and we don't know which opportunity could be the click opportunity for you to make it something big.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's where it reminds me of a quote of a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step when you say a story.
Yes, Lao Tzu, yes. I like that, yeah.
Yes.
So I thought, let me be open-minded, and I went in, it was good. And moving on, I'd say after that, the other jobs I had, from, I'd say, till 97, right from 1985, I was in sales. So it was 12 hard years. I wanted to get into training because the training bug had got me in 1990 when I got selected for that Goa program. But everywhere I went, they said, listen, we don't have any opportunities for you in training. They said, about the only thing we can do is you'll have to be in sales. So I was territory manager, team leader, branch manager, sales manager, whatever. So my primary focus and function was in sales, but I always volunteered to be, train the people. So that's what happened.
That's also because a lot of times when you have newbies coming in, especially into a company, you will require somebody to step up and show them how the process is done and how they can fit into the process.
Yes.
So you were getting such opportunities in training in the firms that you were?
Yes. So in fact, I said, I was open. I said, any training, don't bother about paying me. I thought it's great learning for me. So because I always believe that if I took it more as an opportunity to learn and get better at what I really wanted to do. So not really worried about the money. Things started happening, and then, in 97, I got an opportunity from a company, which was a sales training company. So they said, listen, we're looking at somebody who's got experience in sales and who wants to be a sales trainer. Would you be interested?
What better?
Yeah, I said, what better? It kind of fits me to a T. I said, I'm keen. The only hitch was at that time, they were offering me a salary of about 30% lesser than my sales manager salary. So here I had the option to continue my sales journey. Okay, well settled 12 years into that, or jump into a field which I loved, but a totally new field. I took that jump. My friend said, you must be crazy. Who would take a 30% dip in the salary? But looking back from 97 to now, it's been about 23 years now? In my 24th year of training, I think I took a great choice. I think I did a good choice.
I think as a fellow trainer, I think that was a great choice that you made as well. And one of the things that happened is you once you took the choice, I want to know what happened later on. Did you stick with what you were doing, or was it your dream to become an independent trainer? What was the transition after that? Where did life take you, and how did this 23-year-old training journey start?
Okay, so back in 97, I got in, and then, I was like a sponge. I said, I want to learn anything that you throw at me, I'll do it. So 3 months into my job there, they said, listen, the trainer in Bhubaneswar is, for whatever reasons left, can you go and do a training in Bhubaneswar? I said, okay, fine. I've never been to Bhubaneswar. I said, one condition. I said, I want to take my wife along with me. Said, okay, so we went for a happy journey there. And 10 days we stayed there. I learned a lot there. Then during that time, two very important things happened to me there. This company was tied up with a US-based, university, also a UK-based training company. So a lot of training happened. I got introduced to something interesting called NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. So back in 97, then, something on leadership, negotiation. So I learned a lot of stuff on how I can be today as a trainer from that almost 2 year stint in that company. Ever grateful there. Yeah.
So was it also the beginning of your own venture, Greatscope Consulting, and what happened? What do you do with that company right now?
Okay, so if you look at it, it didn't immediately start there. So to make a long story short, after 97, I was with them for a couple of years. Then around 2000, if you see, the call center industry started coming up. I was a consultant to a call center company. Okay, it was a small little call center. From about 20 people, I helped that company to become an international call center. Did everything for them with respect to training in terms of getting a voice and accent trainer, because I didn't do that and all that. So it grew to about 300 people. So, and the company got set. The CEO of the company said, you helped me such a lot, why don't you join us as the head of L&D? I said, okay. I joined him, was with him for about 2 years, from early 2001 to 2003. And after that, because it was a lot of night shifts, again, I learned a lot, because in that job, I was, helping train about 300 people, looking after a lot of things. But then monotony set in, and I said, I need to be doing something on my own. I was really wanted to get back to my freelance consulting days. But this time around, when I quit in 2003, 2 things I did. I set up my own website, greatscope.com, which still exists. And I said, now I'm going to do it differently. It's not just going to be me, but I want to have a team of people who can be with me. Because along the while, there were a few people who wanted to learn about training. There were newbies who wanted to get into training. They said, Amruth, for whatever I don't know why, they chose me as their mentor. I said, let me help you in whatever way I can. And as of now, they are part of my team. And that's how Greatscope is running. Yes, that way.
Sir, so you've spoken so much about training. I'm interested to know, what are some of the offerings you have at Greatscope now? What are some of the trainings you do?
Yeah. So in sum, I'd say we focus on 3 areas. You could say training, coaching, and keynote speaking is what I focus on. These are 3 areas. In training, I do everything which is non-technical, every behavioral training that I do. When I say me and my team, I'd say, so I love doing a lot of leadership training. That's my passion, and that's my passion. Right from interpersonal effectiveness, negotiations, sales, customer service, outbound team building. These are some of the things that we do in training as such.
Okay.
Keynotes, and coaching, about 10 years back is when I got into coaching. It was still very new in India. So I coach entrepreneurs. I also coach, people who might be in the mid to senior levels in a job. They're looking at how they can get a breakthrough in their work as such. Entrepreneurs on how they can get to where they are to where they want to be. Mm-hmm. I tell people on how you can be more productive with less stress.
Correct.
That's my offering. And in keynote speaking, that in fact I started just about 5 years back. I was just called to speak in a function about 4-5 years back. On a lark, I just took it. And then I saw a lot of opportunities coming. Now I do short 30-minute programs. We know that BNI will do it in just 8 minutes. So right from 10-12 minutes to about 45 minutes, I have spoken to lots of gatherings across India.
That's fantastic, sir. I think that's a lot of experience, and you have so many offerings in terms of your services, which people can definitely benefit from. One difference that I want to understand and give clarity to people who understand in the knowledge-based industry is, what is the difference between training and coaching? Because some people call themselves trainers and coaches. Some people just call themselves trainers. What is the difference here?
I think it's a fantastic question, because I think it's important to get some clarity in this. So I'd say, in training, I'd say it's more a lot of you are imparting maybe a lot of knowledge or skills to the other party. Okay, that's how training works. So there's a lot of maybe you could say download a bit. Of course, it can be interactive. That's what most people would do. And that's the best way. But in coaching, I'd say the coach has to listen a lot. So it's more on, to give you an example of how coaching can be, in fact, I tell people I am your Google Maps. Now, let's say you want to go from here to Malleshwaram. You need to know your destination, right? You're here and you want to put, what do you do in Google Maps? You say, I want to go to Malleshwaram. And what Google Maps does for you is that it'll show you the best option. That's what a coach does. You decide where you want to go. The coach shows you the best way to go there smoothly and easily. That's what I do. So I don't decide where you want to go.
Correct.
I just give you I show you the options. And I do that by asking questions. You answer the questions. As a coach, I believe you know all the answers. I just help you to find the answers yourself. But in training, sometimes I might have to give you the answers. That, in my opinion, is the difference between training and coaching. That's strictly my opinion. I mean, there are a lot of other people.
No, I can definitely vouch for it, because coaching is more specific.
Yes.
Training is, you have a template, you have a specific large objective that you want to, judge and clarify. Now, sir, moving on, I want to know, in your coaching or in your training, what makes you unique amongst an ocean of coaches and trainers that are out there?
Okay, fine. I think I told you that back in 97, I got exposed to this wonderful field of human behavior called neuro-linguistic programming. Okay. NLP, I'd say, is the science and art of human excellence. Okay. If I had to give a very simple example, imagine a class of about, say, 30 to 40 students. Okay. And they're in a math class. Okay. and the teacher gives them, at the end of the math class, she gives them a test. What are the chances that all of those students get the same marks? Almost nil, isn't it?
Nil.
Why is it that somebody might get 100 or 100 and somebody gets 30 or 20 or 30? Is it because the teacher taught them differently, or is it because something is inside the mind of the person which made them give different options or results?
Correct. It's the second one. It's the second answer.
So NLP is about what is it that makes this 100%er. It's because what is going on in the mind of that 100%er which makes him a 100%er. Because he's got the same human brain as the 30%er or the 20%er. NLP is all about helping the 30%er also think like a 100%er and also achieve like a 100%er. So if I have to answer that question, what is it that I make unique? Is that I help that person think like a 100%er. Okay? That's the first thing. The second thing is that, I work on a contextual basis. So if you were to come to me for coaching, you don't need to tell me anything that you don't want to tell me. Let's say, to give you an example, somebody came to me and said, listen, Amruth, I want to change one of my habits, but I'm too embarrassed to tell you what habit it is. Ordinarily, if you went to a counselor, he had to reveal some, funny details. But I told him, listen, I don't need to know any details. I don't need to know the content. I work on the context. I told him, listen, I can help you change your habit which you're embarrassed about without even having to know what the habit is. Now, how good is that? So he said, wow, can you do that? To this day, I don't know what his habit was, but I helped him change his habit. Okay?
I think that's a great testimony for what you do. And I think you've contributed so many different ways to so many people. You've helped leadership organizations build leadership tables. You've met so many leaders. And you've been a leader yourself. So I want to know, in very short, if you have to give me 3 specific qualities that a great leader should have, what are those 3 qualities?
I'd say, management is handed down, but leadership is earned up. What it means that if you want to become a manager, somebody has to promote, give you that, the hand down a letter to you. But having said that, every manager is not a leader. Any idiot can become a manager. We do apologies to managers who's listening to this. But to be a leader, the team whom you lead have to accept you as a leadership, isn't it? So leadership is more of a trait. You need to learn how to be a leader. First, number one. Second thing I'd say is, it's not about you, Mr. Leader. It's about the people that you lead, is what I'd say. And the third thing I'd say is that, be a lifelong learner. I'd say learners become leaders. Leaders are lifelong learners. So that would be something that I'd like to tell leaders.
Superb. I think that's a great nugget that we have. And I definitely agree with you, because leaders always have to adapt. Absolutely. And adaptability comes from learning. And without learning, there is no adaptability at all. Right? Now that you've had the kind of experience you've had in the industry, I want to ask, what is that one piece of advice you would love to give for somebody like me who's a new entrant into the coaching industry, or for somebody who's aspiring to join this industry, because it has its own perks and cons. So yeah, I want to know from your side.
I'd say don't listen to old foggies like me. First advice. Do your own thing. Because I think if you're in it for about 3 years, 5 years now, you're obviously doing something wonderful. And trust your gut is one thing I'd say. Having said that, I'd say I'd say learning is important. The participants are the most important people in the program. Many times I find trainers can get carried away and thinking they're doing wonderful, they're God's gift to mankind, and they think they're doing a great service. I'd say, sorry, stay humble. It's what they think it's what's important, not what you think is important. If you can't make a change in them, it's a waste of time. So I'd say be finally focused on what they want. Be focused on the result that they want. I'm always focused on that.
Yes. And once you get your priority right with your audience, I think there's only one objective. It's go out there and to deliver to 100%. There's nothing else.
Absolutely, yes.
Sir, and today we are here on this podcast because of one amazing platform, that is BNI. And it has helped us in many ways to build networks. And because of that very network, we are here today.
Yes.
I want to know, how did you get into this beautiful family of BNI? Where did it all start?
Yes. In fact, I almost didn't get into BNI. Okay. How it happened was, I first got invited to a BNI meeting in 2009, but I didn't take it up. I was not very serious about it. Then back again in 2010, I was invited again by Mr. Venu, who was a valuer from Champions chapter. Walked into the meeting and I saw the meeting went very well. That time in Champions, there was somebody else in my category of training and coaching. So, but then Murali Srinivasan said, we are starting off another chapter in North Bangalore. Would you be interested? I said, okay. I humored him. I said, okay. And I said, okay. This is my way of saying no. But I nicely said no to him that way. Week later, he called me and said, Amruth, come over. We are going to start off some meetings. I said, okay, I'll come. And I didn't go. This happened for 3-4 weeks. Every week he would call me on a Tuesday saying, tomorrow is our meeting, come. Then my wife said, listen, you teach etiquette and all that to people. It's not nice to say yes and not go. Why don't you go and have a look at that place? I went there. And this hotel in North Bangalore, I saw there were just 4 people there. But that day, Max Srinivasan was saying something very interesting. And he said, see, this chapter is going to grow for to a bigger chapter. And if you had to hire, what are your other options? You could hire salespeople to talk about your training, or you have a wonderful bunch of people who are going to be talking about your business, okay, and getting your business. That's got me sold. And because of Murali Srinivasan's persistence is what I am here. So if you are to blame somebody for me being in and if you are enduring my programs, blame Murali Srinivasan for me being in BNI. Actually, I should be very grateful to him, actually. Yeah.
And I think it's a lot of times that these sponsors who play this unsung hero role for a lot of successful BNI members. Now, moving on, sir, you've transitioned from that. You've been on the LT table. You were also, prior to this, you were telling me that you've played multiple times the role of a president, and there are various transitions and changes you've seen in that. Now you are a trainer. Everybody knows you for training, and you're a master trainer in one-to-ones. I want to know, what is that one skill to master the ability of doing a great one-to-one?
See, I'd say that if I were to call you to a one-to-one, say, listen, Lalith, I think you got some great connections which I want. When can I do a one-to-one? You'd say, okay, call me in the next century, you might tell. Isn't it? Because you're not interested. But if I say, Lalith, I think I have some connections which I'd like to share with you. When can we do a one-to-one?
Correct.
You'd be interested. So I'd say, look at a one-to-one more as an opportunity to give. Then obviously the other person will be interested in you. Give us again. So I think if you can focus on giving, the getting will happen.
Yeah. It reminds me of a great quote which I was talking about. It says, eaters eat well, feeders sleep well. And I think keeping that kind of mindset and going into a networking platform is a great mindset to have. So we've spoken about BNI. We've spoken about business. I want to know just Amruth as the person, not as a trainer or a BNI member.
Okay.
What are some of the interests you have apart from your training and business?
Well, I'm a trivia freak. I love collecting a lot of trivia. I keep looking at a lot of different things. I love listening to old songs, English, Hindi, Kannada, whatever. 60s is what I do. I love playing with kids, and I like doing a lot of magic tricks with them and all that stuff. Are you ready for a very quick magic trick right now?
Oh, well, now you are taking me by surprise, but I'm definitely game for this.
Okay, so I like doing magic tricks with my cards, okay? So what I'm going to do is that, very simple magic trick, okay? So I'm going to show you a card. I'm going to show you, I'm going to start pulling this card like this.
Okay.
You say stop. When you say stop, I'm going to show that card to you, okay? You can see the card if you want. I can show it to the camera, and I'm not going to see the card. I can even close my eyes if you want to. And then the card will speak to me.
Okay. Done.
Okay? Are you okay with that?
Done.
So, by the way, how long have you been okay, we have about 2 minutes for this. Yeah. Okay, so remember, just tell me to stop. Whenever you want to tell me stop, okay? I'm going to start pulling the card like this. Tell me to stop when you want to. Tell me whenever you want to stop.
Stop.
Okay?
Okay.
Right?
Okay. You
Show
can
the
show it
card?
to the camera.
Let me do it one more time. I think it's better because I think we need to do it better. Okay? Right. So now, right. Say stop whenever you feel like.
Stop.
Okay?
Okay.
Right. Now you want to shuffle it for me?
Okay, I'll do that. I'm a bad shuffler, but I'll try my
Whatever.
best.
Make sure you don't drop the cards. That's it. Okay.
I think that's a good shuffle.
That's it. Okay. Let me see what the cards have to say. Yes. Sometimes the card speaks to me. I think it's his brother. But I don't know. Let me see. This could be your card.
Well, that is the correct card. I'd love to ask you another question. How did you do this?
Magicians never tell. Maybe I'll show you how to do that. It's simple. This is called sleight of hand. Okay. And as a trainer, you can also learn what's called a sleight of mouth. Sleight of mouth patterns are an NLP pattern which helps you to maybe put your participants in trance and take them where you want to take them. So NLP is something that I recommend every trainer to know. So sleight of hand, sleight of mouth.
Well, thank you for that wonderful quick trick. I wasn't expecting that, but I will definitely ask you how you did that and tried over some of my friends. Sir, one last question in this segment is,
Okay.
where do you want to be in the next 5 to 10 years?
I like to be doing whatever I love to do because I mean, I don't want the 56-year-old Amruth to be deciding for the 60 plus Amruth what he should be doing. So I think I'll say, take it easy, take it as it comes. Okay. I might be doing something crazy, I don't know, or something same.
Okay, that's nice.
Follow my heart.
You should, because if you don't follow your heart, then you have nothing to follow really.
Yes.
Right?
On that note, in fact, I'll tell you one quote which really kind of worked well for me is when I was in my sales days, I walked into a customer's office and saw a placard behind him which said, "Do something you love to do and you won't work a single day in your life." I didn't get it those days. But I think now, since I do what I love to do, and I'm sure you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. Does it feel like work?
No, it doesn't.
It feels like fun.
It
Imagine doing what you love and earning money from that. Fantastic, isn't it?
There's no other feeling better than
Better
that.
than this, yes.
Correct. Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful segment. I've personally had a lot of takeaways. And the next segment that we're going to get into is a fun segment.
Okay.
It is where we are going to see how spontaneous you could be. And it is the traditional rapid fire round.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Bring it on.
Okay, my first question to you is, what motivates you to get out of bed in the morning? 5-second answer only.
I say to the first day for the rest of my life. So I look at every day as an opportunity.
Super. Name one another business you don't mind getting into.
I think I'd love to be a stand-up comedian.
Stand-up comedian. Fantastic. What's your favorite part of your current job?
The fact that I can make a difference in my clients. Yeah.
Great. Name 3 business leaders you would want to have a discussion over dinner.
I wouldn't call them business leaders, but leaders in their own right. And I think Mahatma Gandhi is one person I adore a lot. Sachin Tendulkar. I know my wife is listening for that. I adore him for whatever he's done. You may not call them traditional business leaders, but Sachin Tendulkar is amazing.
He's a brand.
Yes, yes. And I think the third one is somebody who started from humble beginnings and moved on to big. Let's say the Ambanis, the Dhirubhai Ambani, if you hear his story, fantastic, yes.
True. And I can definitely agree to that list. If you're given $1 million, what would you do with it?
I'd speak to my investor and say, tell me what to do. Better ask the expert to do. Why should I decide on that?
Just sit back and enjoy the show.
He's doing. Trust an expert.
What are some of the most inspirational books or videos that you can recommend to people watching?
Okay, I'd say one video I'd recommend. I don't know if you can find it, but for the last 30 years, I've been watching a video every year. It's called The Miracle Man. It's a story about how a person almost died because of an air crash and how he willed himself to become fit again. That's an amazing movie. And that's a movie which I'd say. Then there's one movie called, what's that? Life is Beautiful. Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Fantastic movie. You should see that. And in terms of books, I'd say I read a very good, interesting book called A Whole New Mind. Okay, by Dan Pink. Dan Pink is an author I'd recommend most people to read. He writes some fantastic books, To Sell is Human, and all that. So these are a couple of books.
So if you authored a book, what would you call it?
In fact, I must say I'm actually in the middle of authoring 2 books. Okay, I like reading 3-4 books at a time, writing. There's a book called Thrive, a leader's handbook in the new normal. I'm writing that. And also I'm writing a book called Leadership in Short. Okay, the short man, writing a leadership.
I'd love to give it a read. I mean, quite interesting. Yeah. So what's the best piece of advice you've ever got?
Just be who you are.
Who you are.
My mom said always that, Trust your gut.
Trust your gut. What is that one community that you would like to be a part of or already are a part of that you would want to recommend?
I'd say we should all have something called the community of positive thinkers.
Superb. So at least have your own inner community.
Yes.
Like that. Are you a coffee or a tea person?
Both actually, based on the time. Coffee in the morning, tea in the evening. Yeah.
Indoor or outdoor?
Both.
Both again?
Yes,
okay.
Because I love some puzzles as well as I'm an outdoorsy person. Hockey, I used to play that. Yes.
Super. If you could teach one subject in school, what would it be?
Creativity.
Creativity. Favorite movie?
I'd say, what was that? The Magnificent Seven, The Great Escape. These are 2 movies which have impacted a lot. Yes.
What is the must-have item in your pocket when you leave the house?
My phone.
Your phone. Formals or casuals?
Sorry?
Formals or casuals to wear?
Again, based on how I'm feeling.
Okay. What was the worst subject in school?
Math, but now I'm pretty okay at math. You know, there's something called a kakuro. I can do that in about 6 minutes.
Okay.
You should try the kakuro.
Okay, I shall. I don't know what that is, but sounds
Yeah, it's
interesting.
not Sudoku. Most people know Sudoku, but kakuro is different. It's real math. Try that.
Okay. What would you do on a rainy day?
I'd make some paper boats and,
Let them go.
Yeah.
Okay. So a normal drizzle won't help. What do you do to relax?
well, play with kids, listen to music, meditate, breathe. Yes.
Nice. One last question. If you could make a documentary about anything, what would it be?
A documentary, I'd say maybe about my own life. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful segment. I've
Did I
had
pass?
fun. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And I really enjoyed this wonderful show. A lot of takeaways for us and the viewers. And I think it's in specific, from one trainer to another, I think there's a lot to learn from you. And
Likewise.
how did it feel, sir, to be on
Oh,
this?
awesome. I'm learning lots of stuff. So good to see that you started this thing. Fantastic. Networking and beyond. I wish you all the best, and I'm sure you're doing amazing. Let me see when I can learn from you.
My pleasure, sir. It's really nice to hear that from you. And for all the viewers that are watching, I have 3 specific takeaways. Number 1, opportunities are like buses. They keep coming, yet it's your choice that if you clearly want it and you will go to the future in that bus. So it's all about making that choice. Take the right kind of opportunity.
Wow.
The second one is the ability to be a lifetime learner, because you being a leadership coach, I remember you mentioning saying, a leader is only a person who can constantly learn.
Absolutely.
And that simply goes back to one of the core values of BNI as well, lifelong learning. The third one is leadership is not about the leader. It's about the people that the leader is leading. It's not about you. It's about somebody else. So you have to think from their perspective rather than your own.
Absolutely.
I think these 3 are 3 fantastic takeaways I've had through this show. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know what to do. For more such amazing episodes, please do comment, like, share, and subscribe to this amazing channel. Stay tuned. We'll give you much more fantastic episodes like this.
Thank you so much.